Let me thank Dave and Linda and our Director of Development, Annette Saxon, and the whole committee and all the volunteers involved in making today happen and all our staff. And let's give them another round of applause, please. Let me add my appreciation to all who teach and educate our children in the E.B. Hirsch Early Childhood Center and all our youth education programs. Let me especially make sure we mention the Assistant Director of the E.B. Hirsch Early Childhood Center, Jen Platt. We are appreciative of all your efforts as a team and all you do for our next generation and for those both within and beyond our community entrusted to our educational care. We deeply appreciate that. In addition to celebrating and supporting our education program this evening, we are also honored to be able to bless and celebrate Harriet and Jeffrey Legum. In this week's Torah portion, as we creep here this week towards the end of Leviticus, it offers a blessing that you should eat old grain long stored. In a world around us so filled with upheaval and turmoil, the greatest blessing our ancestors could think of is that your life would be stable enough that you would be able to harvest successfully, and even better than that, you would be able to harvest successfully and store prior year harvests, knowing you would be able to enjoy over time. Harriet and Jeffrey Legum know how to enjoy the success they have experienced, but they know how to celebrate, they know how to draw their family together, and they know how to serve and cherish community on so many levels so that the blessings of grain long stored can be shared with so many different people and so many different pieces of our community and other communities. When you're sitting with them, they ask caring and insightful questions, and they are always enthusiastic about the energy of possibilities, not only for their own projects, but for any projects that sound exciting to them. And so as I, in a moment, give some flowers to Harriet, let me invite Jeffrey, Lori and Jeff, Michael and Connie up here to the stage as we give them all a round of applause, please.
What? Yeah, okay.
Let's give them another round of applause. There'll be one more to come. Come this way some. Come a little closer. Let's stay over here on the corner so we don't touch the important mic.
Oh, great. All right. Hopefully this doesn't go as badly as my Haftorah portion. Anyway, we really just wanted to say how thrilling it is to be here in front of such an amazing collection of friends, family, members of the Baltimore Hebrew and surrounding communities who've come out here to honor our parents as well as support the BHC youth community. Excuse me. So we really just wanted to congratulate Mom and Dad and thank them for being incredible examples of how to make a positive impact on not only those near and dear, but on the community at large. You're both just so generous with your time and resources, not to mention incredibly supportive and loving parents and grandparents.
You are both revered in the community, not only for your financial support of local institutions, but your personal attention. Dad, countless organizations have benefited from your steadfast leadership, razor-sharp business acumen, and wit. Mom, your mission over 20 years ago to empower women to have a voice in their health care was far ahead of its time, and a woman's journey has been a true paradigm shifter.
We're truly blessed to be your children, as is the community, to have such strong benefactors. And we hope to one day live up to the incredible standards that you have both set for us. And in that vein, you both really just make us strive to be better people, and we love you with all of our hearts. So thank you for the work you do, and just so many congratulations on this wonderful honor.
Thank you, Larry and Michael. You notice everybody has a script, so if you can figure out how much from the heart this is. On behalf of Harriet and myself, thank you to the Baltimore Hebrew congregation for this wonderful honor. I want to thank my children for the nice words and for your candid observations. And I want to thank Harriet for putting up with me for the last 50 years. I wasn't sure we were going to make it to tonight, but thank you, Harriet. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself for the people that don't know me. I think I know most of the people in the audience. I graduated from the University of Pennsylvania in 1963, and I went right into our family's Chevrolet business, which had been started by my grandfather. And I talked to a lot of people tonight, said, "Oh, I bought my first car from you." I don't think we sold that many cars, but anyway, thank you. So, and I started selling cars myself when I was 17. So I was fairly aggressive, to put it in a nice way, I guess. Any event, I want to tell you a story. I went to confirmation class here, and we used to have Saturday school. So I was hitchhiking on Park Heights Avenue one Saturday in 1957, and an older man in a 1956 Chevrolet, I remember this distinctly. It was a gray and white Chevrolet, and it really pissed me off because it had a Fox Chevrolet emblem on the back. So I got into the car anyway because I needed a lift, and it was Morris Lieberman, whose picture's out in the hall. Well, I wasn't exactly reticent, so I said, "Morris, I think Park Circle could give you a better deal than you got." So he says, "I don't think so, Jeffrey." So I said, "No, Morris, I'm sure we could give you a better deal." So he says, "Jeffrey," he was at a stop sign, he looked at me and he said, "Lou Fox gave me this car, and he gives me a car every year." So I said, "Does he give you free gasoline?" So the other connection that Harriet and I have to Baltimore Hebrew is that Morris Lieberman, who you've heard of earlier, drove through a snowstorm on November 10th, 1968, to marry us at the Shoreham Hotel. And two bad things happened to him that day. First of all, it took him about 2 hours to get there, maybe 3 hours. And there was a Colt game that afternoon. He didn't get to hear it. But everybody in the audience had a transistor radio. So they were listening to the game. He was the only one that didn't know the score. Every once in a while, Will Sirota would yell out the score. So now that Harriet and I both know the score, we're glad to be here in this wonderful family. We have wonderful memories of Baltimore Hebrew, and we're glad that we could be helpful to you this evening. Andy.
Jeffrey,
Thank you.
beautiful words there.